Y'all, I had to have a really special guest in the house tonight. I'm having a deep conversation with my girl, my sister. She's just such a real lady. She tells her story and she stands on it because she knows things that she's predicted and then they've come to fruition. And I'm just so excited to have her here. She's a songwriter, she's a singer, she's beautiful, she's a queen. She's doing things out here. She's helping people, she's saving people. I got my girl Jaguar Wright in the building. Hey, Jag.
Shay, I receive all of that. Thank you.
Yes, you are
oh
that.
my God. You that too. I've been
Thank
doing
you.
my own work.
Thank you.
And I always believe that the universe, or however you believe, whether you believe in the source, or you believe in God, or whatever you believe in, all things pull together.
Yes.
So I'm glad that we got to meet each other this way.
Me too.
Yeah.
Me too. And from the time I got on the phone with you, it was just, we stayed on the phone for a little bit of time. And when I hung up, I said, wow, she's amazing. And you know why I thought it was amazing? Because it was like I got on the phone with you and we just talked as sisters from the get. You know what I'm saying? And that's amazing. Like just a real person.
I receive people from that space and that space only. If I can't receive you like that, you don't need to be around me.
Exactly. No. And that's what I knew with that. That's why I knew it was amazing. I'm the same way. I'm just not going to jive with spirits or just with people. But some people, when you talk to them, it's like you knew them forever.
Yeah. Instant, yeah.
It's an instant thing. You're at the right place.
I got a lot of those instances happening in my life right now.
Oh, really? Okay.
But yeah.
That's great. I love to hear that. So, tell us what's going on with you. Because, I got to ask you some things, but I want to hear about what's going on with you.
Everything's going on. I'm relaunching my network, Philadelphia Broadcasting Network.
Yay! That's right, girl.
And our address is really simple, just realjag.com.
Real Jag.
Yep, just realjag. And it's funny, I've always kept it very simple. My email address is my name.
That was mine.
Yeah, it's just really simple. Like, I don't try to make it hard for people to find me.
Right.
I want to be accessible. The funny thing is that, people seem to feel as though I haven't been here, and I've been here the whole time.
Right.
And that's the power of media. Media can trick us into forgetting what happened right there in front of our faces, and it can also make us believe things that never happened at all.
Right.
You know what I mean? Why is it that no rappers' murders ever get solved?
Never.
Some of the most, influential people, like people that people see, follow, and yet their murders never get solved. And then you have situations like Megan Thee Stallion.
Right.
And there was a huge trial about a shooting that allegedly never happened, but people believe it happened. So, this is America. They say it's the land of the free. I haven't seen that or experienced that. They say it's the home of the brave, and yet everyone is too afraid to stand up to the system, and anyone who does is persecuted. Right. You know what I mean?
Right.
Like, it's just getting to the point now where we got to start checking the Constitution and the amendments word for word and make sure we're not getting played in the face.
Right.
So for me, when I think of the entertainment industry and now me starting to peel back the layers that is exposing government involvement in the demise of hip hop, an actual initiative.
Right.
No different than what they did with the Black Panther Party.
Right.
A lot of people don't realize I am a Black Panther and my friend is Fred Hampton Jr.
Wow.
And his father was Fred Hampton Sr. And he never met his dad. He was 8.5 months in his mother's womb when his father was killed by the FBI.
Wow.
And now he is the chairman of the board for the new Black Panther Party. And I serve at his discretion. I think one of the most awesome moments that I think my new relationship has provided was me and Odell having breakfast with Robert Johnson.
Okay.
He's an original Panther.
Dope.
You know what I mean? And then I call Fred.
Right. That's
on
so,
FaceTime.
right.
And we're sitting there at the soul food eatery over shrimp and grits and fish and grits. And I'm watching my friend Fred Hampton Jr. talk to a man that would have probably been known to him in his life as his uncle in some capacity. But because of, the assassination of his father, there was a disconnect there. And even Robert said, I talked to his mom from time to time, but I haven't talked to him in a long time. And I'm like, well, I'm here to change that.
Wow, amazing.
But our relationship, me and Odell's relationship, opened up that door. And I think that's why it's pretty awesome, because we started our organization as we became committed to a relationship with one another, and it's crueltyfreeartistry.org.
That's so dope.
Yeah. So it's going to be really interesting, and then the fact that I have a press pass. And that part of the reason why I moved to Las Vegas was because I am going to be a part of the press corps for the Keefe D murder trial of Tupac Shakur.
Wow.
As a Black Panther.
Wow.
That's kind of insane.
That's amazing. That's amazing. Wow. Wow.
And allegedly, I'm going to be sitting there in the courtroom watching Foxy Brown testify, Ingrid Marchand, a girl who I've had fights with, physical fights with.
Wow.
Over Jay-Z and over Scott Storch and over Corrupt. It's
Wow.
So for me to think back to her swinging from my apartment, entry gate at 5th and Lombard like a monkey, talking about, I know you in there with that bitch. I mean, she was only 16 years old.
Wow.
She's about to turn 17. She was an unsupervised minor who was heavily over-sexualized. And she was the hottest thing on the street.
Wow.
And all those girls were sitting there wishing they could be her. I wonder if they're going to want to still be her, or still, covet that memory when she starts talking about the threesome that she had with Jay-Z and Jamie Foxx, and they were more interested in each other than her. All of that shit is about to happen. The fairy tales are about to die.
Man, crazy.
We were just talking about it. 50th anniversary of hip hop. Sean Carter does not show up for any of it at all, even though he's listed as one of the greatest and at the top of the list.
Yeah.
But no real contributions to the hip hop community at all in any way, shape, or form. He can't show up for that, but he can show up for the Braidster. He can show up for Tom Brady. And they weren't even feeling it.
Right. Yeah, no.
It reminds me of a story that Al Green once told me about why he doesn't like performing private parties for billionaires, because they treat him like he's wait staff. And he's like, so he was telling me about this party that he did at Bill Gates' house, and they had him performing on the helipad.
Okay.
Yeah. So Al Green and his whole ensemble, they paid top dollar. And so there, Al Green is on the helipad, Bill Gates helipad. And he was complaining because they would get to singing, and he's like, they would be there, and then they run downstairs, go in the room, go snort cocaine. And they be down there while he's up there performing, and ain't nobody there.
Right.
And he just said, like he's a wax figure come to life or some
Right.
shit. You know what I mean? And it's fucking Al Green. And he said,
Man, that's
every time,
crazy.
he said, so he told the band to pause since nobody was there. Ain't no point in using all that energy. Ain't nobody there.
Right.
So that they sit there and wait for them to come back, high or cold, and they start playing again. And then the second they start playing, they get the dances, and they start feeling on each other's strange ways. And then they run back down into the room. He said, so the last time they ran down to go get You snorted. He said they came back. He said, and I told him, little Billy, I'm so tired of being alone. I'm so tired.
Now that's hilarious.
He said, I'll never do one of these snot-nosed ass billionaire shindigs again. Motherfuckers think I'm a goddamn wax figure. He said, treat me like I'm wait staff. I'm sitting there waiting.
Man.
So, and to hear that complaint come from someone like Al Green,
right?
It gives you a very realistic, idea of what the fuckery this whole entertainment shit is about. And to be someone whose life is pretty much centered around this, and to also be one of the most vocal figures of what's destroying it and ripping it the fuck down at the same time. I don't think people really understand my commitment, my dedication, or my loyalty to hip hop, because I was willing to put my life on the line to destroy what was killing it, to save what it's supposed to be.
Man, and you've done that. Definitely.
It's been a road.
I salute you.
Thank you.
You've stood on it. And what I've noticed is a lot of things you've said have come into fruition. It's not like you're just talking. Some people say, oh, well, she's, making up this and that. But it's honestly a lot of things you've said, they've come into fruition.
Just as I said.
Just as you said it.
Like literally months before. I told everybody he puts the boots to that girl. What did they think that I meant when I say he put the boots to Cassie? Like they literally had to watch him kick her to truly get the veracity of what I was saying.
Right.
That's how desensitized we are, where we literally have to see hell to acknowledge it as such.
True. True.
That's crazy.
No, it's sad.
Because it sounds like a nation of victims waiting to become victims.
Right. Mm-hmm. No, it's crazy. So what are your thoughts on Diddy? Speaking of Diddy, why do you think he hasn't been arrested yet? Or some sort of charges, questioning?
Well, people have to make sure that they're not going to get arrested with him.
Right.
And I'm not talking about rappers. I'm talking about politicians. I'm talking about law enforcement executives.
Wow.
I'm talking about, agencies that are at the head of stuff like HUD and WIC. There's a lot of collusion.
Okay.
And commingling and entanglements and all of that bullshit that basically just means we're all criminals and we hide it all with entertainment.
Right. Right.
And let's just be honest, everybody knows it. Crime has been disguised as entertainment in America for quite some time.
Yeah. Yeah.
Go all the way back to Prohibition. And then look at who the winners were at the end of Prohibition. Kennedy family. They owned alcohol. Mm-hmm. Pennies off of every bottle sold, even now, still to this day. And nobody bothers to understand why the Teamsters and everyone else was pissed off enough to work to see the demise of the Kennedy family happen in real time. Dallas, Texas. Like, I guess people forget about this.
Wow.
It was Joe Kennedy that moved Al Capone out of the way and made the deal to get Canadian liquor cheap.
Wow. Wow. And people don't, oftentimes people don't know that history.
They're the fastest billionaire blue blood family in American history. All the rest of the blue blood families in the United States, they have been instituted since Plymouth Rock, since the Mayfair, since, yeah, they've been here. The Kennedys are they're the only the only dirty puppies in the billionaire world because they became billionaires in one like the big family, the blue blood.
Wow.
They became that in one generation. And all they had to do was move Al Capone out the way. American history and American politics have always been influenced by entertainment. And entertainment has always been used as a means to catch people in a relaxed state behaving badly so that you can use it for this election or for that election. Or I think it's just time for black people to stop being stupid and start acknowledging the fact that we've allowed the government to control and regulate our minds and use every blessed thing that comes from us to do it. It's time to wake up.
No, I feel you on that. What are your thoughts on the industry, like as a whole?
It needs to die. It is a construct that is breaking down and that is existing in constant breakdown. And it creates nothing but victims. Whether you're a financial victim or a physical victim or an emotional victim or a spiritual victim. Sometimes some artists are all of those things at the same time. Phyllis Hyman. She was all of those things.
Really?
At the same time. And the torture and the disrespect and the neglect and the abuse that Luther Vandross and Phyllis Hyman both suffered under the management of Clive Davis is still unbelievable. It's still unbelievable that nobody will make that man have a real conversation about what happened to Janis Joplin in that fucking hotel. And how is it that she ended up dead in a tub just like Whitney Houston? And nobody is bothered to put that connection together. Why are people so willing not to see what's right there?
Wow. Man. And Whitney, she had like teeth knocked out and she'd been in a fight.
Yeah. She had been in a fight that whole week. She's talking to Brandy the day before when she told him they tried to drown her in the damn tub.
Sad.
Like they tried to kill her more than once. And then they danced on her grave.
That's crazy.
Literally. She was dead downstairs. And they was partying upstairs. Sucking up all her energy. Ray J and Brandy were never properly questioned for their involvement. But then again, Ray J ain't never properly questioned, though. He just gets to pretend to commit suicide every couple of years and talk about he giving his life back to the Lord, and then he marries another stripper. He's like Peter fucking Lawson in real time, for real. Ray J is literally the new Peter Lawson from the Rat Pack. Yeah. He just looking for a Kennedy to marry. Don't nobody want him. The Kardashian don't want him. He hit it first and they got paid first. Oh, God bless it.
Oh my gosh, that is crazy. So, the industry, I know it has a lot of dirty secrets. Who would you say has some secrets if they did a Lifetime special on them and knew the real info?
Michelle A.
Wow.
And her story needs to be heard the most. This is a woman where 2 major recording houses in the same crew rose off of her work. People really don't think about what the Michelle A. catalog did for both of those labels, Death Row and Aftermath.
Wow.
The Michelle A. catalog, it was steady catalog. It was steady radio. And when the rappers' songs fell off the charts, Something in My Heart was still in the top 100.
Right.
For 10 years. Maintaining the balance for the label. Keeping the revenue coming in. You know, Snoop and all of them, they were fast dollars. Miss Chalet was that slow nickel.
Right. Right.
And if it wasn't for that slow nickel, Miss Chalet, how the fuck would Dre ever gotten beats? And she was barely acknowledged in any of the movies regarding either one of those houses. And she was a major break. But, I mean, when it comes to the West Coast females, it's not like she was the only one fucked over. Lady of Rage. Jewel.
Right.
Like,
Right. Right.
we could do a lot better by our sisters who helped build. But yeah, don't get me to talking. I might say so real, girl.
He might keep it really real, huh? Hey, well, that's one thing I love about you. You keep it real. And I mean, I know it's times you probably don't want to expose certain things, but one thing about
things
it
need to be woke up.
But yeah, and I love that you're willing to be that voice. You know, everyone may know something, but not willing to be that voice. They want to be a part of the charade or the non-acknowledgement of knowing. So I can appreciate you standing on, I'll call it 10 toes down.
Oh, yeah.
That's what I'm going to call it, 10 toes down with
That
it.
be me.
You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
And I can respect that because it takes a lot to be 10 toes down.
Because you got to be that even on the days you don't want to be.
Exactly.
Like, that's the thing that I don't think people really understand about my life.
Mm-hmm.
When I wake up in the morning, I have an agreement. And it's an unspoken agreement. You got to stand tall.
That's right.
On everything. You got to stand tall.
Mm-hmm.
And there's some days when I'm tired. There's some days when I'm in pain. There's some days when I don't give a shit and I just want to run off and make love to my boyfriend all day long and cook really awesome food and drink vodka ice cold out the freezer. Like, you know, dumb shit.
Right. Right.
I don't always get to do that because I gotta stand tall.
Right.
And how can I ask people to stand tall if I don't stand tall? And for those who question whether or not it's possible, some days I just gotta stand tall to show them that it is possible every day.
Right.
So that's the agreement that I wake up with every morning. It's the responsibility that I acknowledge that I carry to the best of my ability every day before I go to bed at night. And when me and Odell wake up in the morning, on the mornings where the first thing we do is pray.
Amen.
In the bed before we get out of bed, no kneeling, no nothing, just hand in hand going to the universe and setting the intention for the day. It makes that stand easier.
That's right. Amen.
It becomes not just a tradition, but it becomes a practice.
Mm-hmm.
You know, and I'm grateful. I'm grateful for that agreement.
That's right.
Because it keeps me in agreement with why I opened my mouth in the first place.
Right.
There's no turning back.
Right. 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 Yeah. You're already, there's no turning back. I mean,
I'm outside.
Yeah, you outside. You know
I
what I'm
ain't going
saying?
back in the house now. I'm out here.
Right. Making it do what it do. Hey, that's how it is. And I feel that though. And I like I said, I salute it because I love when I see people that stand on something and keep it going. And so many phony people, you know, they're one way in front of one person and then they switch up and then they're this
They not
other
like
person.
us.
They not like us, okay?
They not like
you know? And I can respect just staying true to you and
Yeah.
true to your beliefs. And
Have to.
yeah, you know.
Especially for the young ones because, let's just be honest, our generation, some punk ass old heads, and we have buckled and folded for a Versace this or a Maybach that. And these kids are moved by something different.
Right.
They're moved by moving things. They want to move things.
Right.
And I'm like, let's put it in their hands. We dropped the ball. Let's put it back in their hands.
Right. The right thing.
Yeah, because they want to listen to me. Even if they fuck it up, they deserve to live the consequences of their bad choices, not the consequences of ours.
That's right.
Because that's what these kids are living. They're living the compromising, situations that were left behind by the choices that we made, compromising to be down, compromising to want to be this, compromising to get an EGOT, compromising to...
Right. Right. That's real.
Like, come on. Let's just be real.
Right.
The simple fact that all Jennifer Lopez had to do was marry a white boy, Oscar winner, for people to stop remembering that she had a gun in her pocketbook. She had gunshot residue on her hands the night that Natanya was shot at that club. For all we know, that bullet came from the gun that was in her hand. And not once has she spoken up for the betterment of that woman. Not once has she donated to her family or for her medical bills that she's still paying, or say something in her defense to stop Puffy from gaslighting her and trying to put hits out on her because he was afraid that maybe one day they would open the case and she still has the bullet fragments in her face. Like J-Lo has said, nothing. Nothing. You really thought that just running off and marrying Ben Affleck was going to take you out of the Diddy downfall? But it saved her the first time, though, didn't it? Because as soon as that club was over and as soon as they finished interrogating her, when she sat there and cried like a baby, I don't want to go to jail. I don't want to go to jail. Benny Medina put her with that drunk white boy until she ran him off. And then he did what? He went and got him a good Irish Catholic girl that his family loves. They all love Jen. Look, he didn't even have to learn a new name.
Right.
I mean, that's great for an alcoholic. They tend to forget a lot of stuff.
Right.
Now he an alcoholic again. He married that girl. And now he's saying he don't even remember. Now he's saying he was drunk. It was impromptu. I can't say that I don't believe him. He's looked miserable ever since he's been with her.
Crazy.
Like, there are people sitting here screaming out at the toll that the atrocities that Sean Combs has done to their lives, and you're trying to avoid your part in the story or the fact that you never spoke up. You want to tell people on the low and put it out there that the movie was about you getting away from Puffy, but you didn't think about the trail of girls that you left behind. What happens to Cassie if J-Lo had said something about the diddler back then? Would Cassie have ever been a victim?
Right. No, I feel you.
Answer me that. Because
yeah.
that situation happened in the late 90s. That situation happened before Aaliyah passed away, and Aaliyah passed away in 2001. He didn't get with Cassie until 2009.
Right.
Almost 15 years after he was with Jennifer.
Yeah, that would have changed things. Definitely.
If she had to come forward about the abuse that she suffered in a relationship with Sean Combs, Cassie would never have gone through what she's gone through.
Absolutely.
J-Lo being a stand-up bitch is Cassie not getting punted in a fucking hallway. And that bitch want to go on tour. I should go to every last one of her tour dates with cat piss in a super soaker and spray every motherfucker that buys a ticket. It's it's unseemly.
Yeah.
And I'm guilty of the same thing because there's a dude that I let get away. And I talked to one of his victims 20 years later. And the only thing she did was repeat to me everything that he had already done to me.
Wow.
20 years between us. 20 years. My silence allowed him to keep operating.
Wow.
That's what's real.
Right. I know about that.
Or the women who set other women up with the bad guy to scare them out of the business because they know if this bitch catch fire, your career's over. You've heard those stories. We all have. It's funny, Wendy Williams talked about it in her personal documentary, and the next thing you know, she's dating Ray J. Why is it always that Ray J is dating bitches right before they go down bad? Like, he's the go down bad dick. Like, I mean, unless you're a Kardashian, you know, in reverse. They reverse it. I don't know.
Right. That's crazy.
You see a bitch with Ray J, trust me. They don't want her around no more.
Okay.
He's got that killer dick. That's what his baby mom said. She would know. But I guess, you know, being with him was better than getting her ass beat by Floyd every day. See what I'm saying?
Crazy.
Princess came from Floyd. Floyd was beating the shit out of her, just like he was Miss Jackson. Isn't it funny? Princess left Mayweather, went straight to Ray J. Miss Jackson left Mayweather, went straight to Nelly. And now, apparently, Ashanti done stole. Because Miss Jackson didn't think, you know, I don't know. It's funny how they swap them in and out like that so fast. I guess they didn't get the memo. You are not the bitch du jour, baby. Wow. It's a new bitch in town. She was an old one, but she back. We vintage. Yeah, I'm breaking out my relationship with Ashanti and my classic Jordans. These motherfuckers is wild.
Crazy. No, that's crazy. But it's a trip how they all, like you said, date from the same dating pool.
It's almost as if they got to keep dating in the same dating pool because they can't do the shit that they do with each other with people from real society.
Right. Right.
When you get a taste for strange, you can only do that in a certain pool.
Right.
Because you go out there and you try that with a regular motherfucker, they gonna tell that shit to everybody. They gonna tell everybody your famous ass is the weirdest motherfucker in the world. For real. Oh my God, that motherfucker. Listen to me. When he jerks off, he sucks his thumb. Like,
right.
You know, like all of that strange shit that motherfuckers don't like nobody knowing.
Right.
Let's just be honest. Musicians are weird. We're weird. By design, we're quirky, we're different. But that's because our brain processes sound and information differently. So, you know, of course you're going to be more comfortable with someone that speaks your language. But even if it isn't, like, people still get surprised. And they still seem to be so, you know, like, oh my God, he was with a prostitute? Yeah. Those are citizens in the entertainment world.
Right.
No, the pros. They're a part of the landscape, man.
Right.
Because guess what? Those guys get to be their self with those bitches. And they pay them to keep their secrets. They don't pay them for the sex. They pay them for the intimacy. The borrowed intimacy.
Right.
Which is why, for someone like me who's an information dealer, pros are probably my greatest allies. And the ones that are brave enough to let me put, you know, hidden cameras on them so I can be in that room with them. Hear everything and see everything.
Mm-hmm.
And sometimes there's an earpiece in their ear and I'm talking them through everything.
Wow. Wow.
How are you supposed to get evidence of girls being held if you're not dealing with the people that they were with before they was taken?
Right.
How are you supposed to get information on how to find a way to slow down the traffic to this party or to this social media site, because you know that the after parties is nothing but audition for the trip to Dubai in a container? You know what I mean?
Oh,
Is I've woken up in Mexico on a private plane and don't remember getting on it. No passport.
wow.
Like, I've been there.
Wow. Mm-mm-mm.
I wish people knew the real world, because the one that they believe in, that's all staged for TV. What I do know is that I can justify that stand, that agreement that I have on that stand every day, by acknowledging the fact that I walked away and I left some of those girls behind. And I knew what was going to happen to them.
Wow.
So I keep going back
Mm.
in one way or another. Yeah, it's a motherfucker.
Wow. Wow. But your stories help so many people, and then it gives people the courage. I feel like as people come out, some people are getting courage. Do you feel like there's anybody in it that's making statements that is not courage? They're just trying to get some money or some form of
I
publicity?
got questions to ask Christian Keys. Why did you do that?
Mm-hmm.
Why did you come out and inflame that situation and then go radio silent without saying anything at all? It was a hell of an acting job. I really hope he is a victim, because if not, then that means he's almost as big a charlatan as Charlemagne.
Yeah. Yeah. So let me ask you this. If you were to name who you think is next on the chopping block, because I believe there's a chopping block and there might be.
Oh, there is Sean Carter. They're trying to avoid him. I'm going to make sure they can't. I have a total of 9 witnesses that are about to start coming forward. I'm going to walk them one by one. But the things that these people have to tell, and the video evidence and the recordings that they have,
Wow.
it's worse than Diddy. So I
Mm-mm-mm.
Mm.
Mm-mm-mm. Worse than Diddy.
Yeah.
Wow.
And a lot of psyops, a lot of psychological operations being ran on employees, former girlfriends, mothers of secret children, interns that refused to sign non-disclosure agreements. Their lives were literally blown to smithereens.
Mm-mm-mm.
I was lucky to survive him. Aaliyah wasn't. Beyonce wanted. She wanted what he was selling.
Mm-mm-mm.
And if you really look at their careers, It's just a trail of bodies that they've been stacking up and standing on. But take off. And I fucking can't stand Tory Lanez, but he should not be in jail for what he's in jail for. They're trying to scare them so they won't speak. Which is why what's happening with Kendrick right now is so ordained.
Amazing. I love him.
Juneteenth was only thing that I'm disappointed about was that we weren't here. Odell, you know, he's from Compton.
Right.
You know what I mean? Work and live in Inglewood, like to not be at that concert. And this, you know, we were in Dallas on business and we watched the concert together, the pop out, and he and I just kept looking at each other and saying, this is what they need. This is what hip hop needs.
Really, for real.
How do we support this? How do we keep this going? How do we keep this level of energy engaged? And it's real simple. We got to support every young artist that's got a voice.
Absolutely.
And not allow them to be silenced. When we see them coming to get them, we got to stand up and say, not ours. And they'll talk as loud as they want, and you ain't going to do shit.
Right.
See, they do that for theirs. We don't do that for ours. Fucking Alex Fuentes. What's the guy? Matt Gates? A minor. Wasn't that his story last year?
Yes.
No charges. Want to know why? Because they'll stand up and say, don't get no fuck what he did. You ain't touching him. Imagine if we did that for ours.
Right.
Imagine what that would look like. So, yeah.
Yeah.
But don't get me to talking.
No, but I feel you on that. I feel like it's time if we all came together and stood up for our own and stand on just the whole movement, we would be so far ahead, you know? So far ahead. So,
like, how many black people ran out and bought that overpriced cognac Douce that was made by Europeans rather than buying black owned?
Exactly. Poppies. You know, that's real talk. You know, but we have to do that more often, period. Support each other.
Absolutely.
You know, I try to do it. I try to support people, and people need to do that in general, but some people would prefer to support another person just because it is the same race. They would prefer to support whoever else, but not you. You know what I mean? I know you've seen that.
Oh, yeah. All the time.
I'm like, man.
That's half my diary. But
yeah, no, it's crazy. So, I don't know. So what do you think about, I don't know, who do you think is the most wicked person in the industry?
Living or dead?
Let's go dead.
Mr. Mayor from MGM. He's a whole pedophile.
Really?
And he ruined Judy Garland's life. And he did that to a lot of young stars in Hollywood. And he set the guidelines up in the companies that created safety nets for child predators.
Wow.
He opened the door and made it possible for Orlando Brown to talk the way he talks today. That part.
Right.
My little baby, Orlando. Shout out to Orlando Brown.
Orlando. That's right. He's doing his thing. and he's telling his truth, and I love it, standing on it. I salute that. So who do you think that's alive? That's the most
Clive
wicked?
Davis. Queen Clive. Jealous of every black woman he's ever tried to pretend to be. From Aretha Franklin all the way down the line. He'll prop up Alicia Keys, but he'll silently shame Angie Stone. Ain't nothing new.
Wow.
Oh, hell. Queen fucking cross-dresser.
It's crazy.
He was terrified of Whitney's book. Just like Diddy was terrified of Kim Porter's book.
Mm-hmm.
You know, student mentor. Just like Jay-Z was afraid of Kathy White's interview.
Mm-hmm.
It's funny how things that they're afraid of disappear.
Yeah.
Like Clarence Avant. Rests in heaven. He and his wife, Jacqueline. LA is a graveyard. Some of the ghosts still walking around.
Mm-mm-mm.
You know I ain't lying.
Oh, I'm hearing you. Oh, yeah. Yeah. I already know. I hear you. One thing about it, like I said, you've said things and they've come into fruition. I haven't seen you sit and talk, and then things are not coming to the surface, you know. So I understand that, you know, you've been put in positions to have information. I'm sure you've been at some parties.
I did not want to know most of what I know, which is how I know I was ordained to know what I know. Somebody said to me, "Oh, Jag, you know everything. You know everything. You just a judge and a jury." And I said, "No, sir. What I am is the executioner."
Mm-hmm.
And I promised God that I would execute every task he gave me. That's all.
Mm-hmm.
And he's like, "God damn it, you always got some fly shit to say, bitch."
That's why I keep it fly, okay?
Oh, my God. But, you know, I'm grateful for me.
That's right.
And there might be a little girl who's growing up right now who's watching all of this, who maybe one day her voice will be as loud as mine. I hope that that agreement that I made to stand tall every day ministers to her
Right.
on her days
Exactly.
when it's time for her to live up to her agreement.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I mean?
Absolutely.
Like, we got to stand in agreement with the things we stand in agreement with, even when people are disagreeing with us. Even when life is disagreeing with us. Even when our finances ain't agreeing with our cause. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
Like, in the face of all disagreement, you got to find agreement with yourself.
For sure. For sure.
And that's, you know, I love the fact that just me waking up and going to sleep, honoring my agreement, makes it possible for someone to find strength in that later on down the road.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Absolutely. So you said you were an executioner. How does that feel to be an executioner? You know?
It's clean.
That's right.
I ain't got nothing to feel bad about, because whatever I lay down was supposed to be down.
Come on now. Come on now.
I didn't write this story.
Mm-hmm.
You know, I say that, you know, sometimes in conversations with my baby. I'm like, "Are you the writer, the director, or the actor?" I was like, because the last time I checked, God wrote and directed this story called Life, and we're just actors in it.
Right. That's right.
So let's not start rewriting God's script.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. No, that's real talk.
You know
You
what
can't
I
write
mean?
it.
We ain't writing this. If it's happening, it's because that's the way he meant for it to happen.
Mm-hmm.
Now, maybe we don't like, this part of the script.
Right.
But apparently it's a part of the setup for the next scene.
Exactly.
Know your lines.
That part. Know your lines.
In life,
That's
real
it.
rap, know your lines.
That's it. Know them. Right.
You ain't got to know nothing else more than your lines.
Exactly.
There's a director. He wrote it. Listen to me. He's better than John Singleton.
Right. Know your lines.
God wrote, just know your lines. And, oh my God, that translates on so many different levels.
Right. We'll talk about it.
I mean, girl, that's a whole nother interview.
Right. Okay, I got you. Look, that takes us down a whole nother road. Okay?
Yes. One rabbit hole at a time.
Right. No, I feel you on that one. So, why do you think that people haven't been questioned in the death of Aaliyah?
Oh, that's simple. Because every last one of them will go to jail.
Right.
And everybody got paid.
Right.
Millions upon millions.
Wow.
Upon millions, and are still getting paid millions. My heart goes out to her brother because he really didn't have a say.
Mm-hmm.
My heart goes out to Kidada. They were tight. Can you imagine if Tupac and Aaliyah had lived? Her and Kidada were best friends. Dame and her were set to be married. And Kidada and Pac were supposed to have been married at one time. Can you imagine what that would have looked like, them on couples?
Wow.
Like,
dope.
Like,
beautiful.
When I think about everything that I'm doing, I ask myself questions just like, what would the future have looked like? What would the future of hip hop look like if these people had lived? If this person had lived? If this person was still here? And I just imagine how much different the world would have been. And that keeps me going.
Yes. Mm-hmm. No, I feel you on that one. Which one of these couples do you think is the most evil? Like, there are couples out here, and, which couple do you think?
Jay-Z and Beyonce.
Okay.
Period. And they're not even a real couple. They're all business. Oprah and Gayle. I want somebody to acknowledge that. Like, seriously, like, when are we going to stop? We know Oprah's a dyke. We know Gayle is her girlfriend. She the new Robin. Just like Robin and Whitney, you got Gayle and Oprah. Mm-hmm. Where was Stedman during this Ozempic scare?
You know what?
No, seriously. Gayle was on TV crying. Distraught.
Right.
Well, her stomach was very upset. Well, why are you telling us? Where's Stedman?
Right.
He wasn't even at the hospital.
That's crazy.
Her long-time love? Where they got him strapped up in the basement? It's time to put Stedman on a milk cart, baby. Where's Stedman at? They've been together since the 80s and never got married. Like, they're like common law to the 80 millionth degree.
Right.
Like, they beyond common law. Like, they got to come up with a whole new thing for how long these people been shacked up.
It's crazy.
And you telling me she got a whole life and death scare. Miss I Love Bread, this bitch. And you loved Ozempic, and now your ass is fucked up. But where was Stedman?
True.
Like he couldn't take time away from golf. What did he do? Send us some Pepto-Bismol? Like, where's Stedman?
Yeah. True.
Come on, man. There is no way in the world a woman in a long-term monogamous heterosexual relationship with a man is going to end up in the hospital at her age of serious conditions and her best friend is crying and speaking for her. And her man ain't nowhere in sight and ain't nobody seen this man with her at an event publicly in over a decade.
Right.
This is starting to sound like some Scientology shit. Like,
right.
you know, the what's his name? Miscarriage. David Miscarriage, right?
Mm-hmm, I think.
Where's his wife? And why did they stop the investigation? Leah Remini was hot on the trail. They gaslit her the fuck up off of that shit.
Right. I see you.
Where's she at? Where is Mrs. Miscarriage? Are her and Stedman together?
You know what?
I don't know. Were they visiting Jamie Foxx? I don't know. Were they all playing pickleball? I don't fucking know. Like, this shit is weird.
Yeah. No, it is. It's crazy.
Come out the closet. It's all legal now. If you're still on the DL, the only thing that proves is that you like being a liar.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
I love a great gay man. I can't stand no faggot, period.
Right.
And people say whatever the fuck they want to say about me using the F word. If you're still saying nigga, then I'ma still say faggot. Because as far as I'm concerned, nigga is to African American what faggot is to gay.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
It's the same.
It's the same.
It's the same. They are the shame of the gay community.
Mm-hmm.
They run around asking for protections that are afforded to the community, but don't claim it. They're running around lying to people, breaking up families, some that they created themselves, some that they just trying to steal daddy away. Like, they're fucked up people. They fuck up our community.
Mm-hmm.
They got it so bad out here, black women is doing this shit called the black wife effect.
Talk about that, the black white.
I mean, when you look at it long enough and you look at some of the comments, it's starting to look like a black woman can only be truly loved and happy with anything other than a black man. What happened to the black family effect?
Right.
Oh, yeah, that's right. Remy Ma fucked that up with her fucking gay husband, Papoose, with the fake black love shit. Fucking Will and Jada made a fucking mockery of the institution of marriage. Tisha Campbell Martin now wants to stand up and save her ex-husband, baby daddy's new fiance from being abused by the man that abused her. But the question is, did you know he was a faggot before or after y'all got married? Because if you knew he's faggot before you got married, then you should have known he was going to be a faggot on the way out. People are who they are.
Right.
And when I say faggot, I mean down, low, lying, fucking, I don't want to wear a condom and don't blame me for you getting HIV. Like, this is the kind of menaces these people are in our society. Making a mockery of both households, the heterosexual household and the LGBTQ plus household. They're playing in everyone's face.
Mm-hmm.
And then say, don't out me, I'm LGBTQ. When? Because you wasn't LGBTQ at church with your wife?
Right.
And them kids? Even though your son saw you sucking the pastor's dick? Like, come on, nigga, don't play. It's just what's real. And until we get real, we're going to have some issues. Real issues.
Yeah.
And black love has become compromised and black relationships don't look viable anymore. now it just looks like we can be happy with anybody but ourselves. And that's sad because that means the Willie Lynch letters worked.
Right. Right.
Because that was all about turning us against each other so that we would never find the courage to join together and to claim what is rightfully ours.
Mm-hmm.
They bred us and trained us to be at odds so that we would not claim our greatness as a people. It's fucked up.
That's crazy.
It's fucking MK Ultra, bro.
Mm-hmm.
That's all it is.
And keep us watered down and weak. You know, because if we don't stick together, then we don't have the same power.
The only time they let you be strong is when they get to use your body, but they control your mind.
Mm-hmm.
Look at our fighters. Look at our football players. Look at our,
Mm-mm-mm.
How is that any different than Mandingo fighting?
Right. Right. It's crazy. Epstein's Island.
How many rap videos were shot on that island? They're not talking about that.
Mm-hmm.
Hype Williams filmed a lot of music videos on Epstein Island.
Really?
Why is Hype so quiet? Anybody should have been questioned. It should have been him. He's the one that refused Aaliyah passage on to Lenny Kravitz's very safe plane to get on one that he knew was faulty.
It's crazy.
What's crazy is it's been almost 30 years and he's never had to answer that question in public.
Mm-mm.
Who's protecting him? And why ain't he directing no more?
Man.
He's one of the hottest directors for music videos around and he just disappeared.
Wow. Interesting.
I would say so. That's my reality.
Wow. Yeah, no, but it's crazy to me. Who would you say? I mean, I know. How can I say this? There's a lot of couples. Not only are they doing evil things, they're projecting things on kids.
Talking about the Wades. I think everybody in America know how I feel about the Wades. And fuck them both. And I hope they get the karma that they deserve. I hope Dwayne Wade has a very uncomfortable sex reassignment surgery. And I hope Gabrielle finally comes out as the butchie dyke that she is. And, let's see them for who they are.
Mm-hmm.
Let's see them at the graduation. At the baby's graduation when she's there with her two moms.
What do you think about Trump being shot?
I think he set it up. I think he knows he's struggling for support. Y'all remember when Bush got them shoes thrown at him? You remember when he got the shoes?
Mm-hmm.
And he ducked? And it really got people back into him. I think a shooting would, yeah.
Right.
Yeah, I think this is going to work for him. I hope it does.
Yeah.
Because that would be a shame if he allegedly staged his own shooting and did nobody give a shit.
Right.
Like, yeah, but you fucked America up. This is how you left us, dog. Don't nobody care.
But it's probably gonna work out for him, I think.
I'm I mean, in my opinion, I'm not looking for a voting booth in my future.
Mm-hmm.
I think we're just gonna skip it.
Right. Right. Okay.
I think America is about to be very surprised at what 2025 is gonna look like.
Mm-hmm.
And what I will say is figure out what's important.
Right.
And act accordingly.
Mm-hmm. Right. Right.
Yeah.
Oh, definitely. Definitely. Your boy Christopher Williams talking about he wasn't doing the get down, huh?
Yeah, but if he had known me, he would have screwed me. Yeah.
Yeah, that's crazy.
I'll pass.
Right.
Like, I'm one of the few people who knew about him choking Halle Berry. So, like, you know, you wouldn't have been my type.
Right.
And I wasn't in the light brights back then. And whether or not it's true or it's not true, whether or not my witness mistook him for someone else, I know what did he do. And I know he got a demo deal.
Right.
And I know he got a check for $75,000. And I also know that project never came out. Why would a man cut you a check for $75,000 for work that no one ever heard? And he want to sit up there talking about when he was signed to Uptown and how Puff was an intern. Yeah, but I didn't say that you were on your knees at Uptown. If that was the case, you would have been on your knees for Andre Harrell, which for all we know, that might have happened. Andre was very compelling. But the thing is, that happened at Bad Boy, where Puffy was the boss, where Andre Harrell wasn't. You weren't the superstar at Bad Boy. You were a star at Uptown, and you weren't a bigger star than Albie Shore. No. Okay, let's get that clear. Albert Brown was king of R&B. That's Uptown Records. That we talking about the man that wrote Forever My Lady. Like,
right. Right.
Keep dreaming. Please let this nigga sleep, because apparently he's forgotten reality. At Bad Boy, you were there for a demo deal. So whatever your career was before that moment, clearly something had changed. And that nigga straight did you like you Wesley Snipes in the New Jack City. He Kareem Akbar'd you. You know? Kareem Akbar's the head of the CMB. It ain't me. They threaten my family. Like, that's where he at. He always gonna be that. And I just find it kind of tacky, because you want to sit up here and you want to attack my character, but you're running around, you know, jacking like every mom and pop promoter that I know. You know, little events. You sitting there jacking them $3,000 at a time. Taking deposits and never showing up for the shows. So, like, that's you. That's not me. That's what you do. That's your character. I was arrested for, I don't know, scaring a bunch of cops. You were arrested for stealing JBL $99 JBL headphones out of Kohl's.
You know what?
Everybody knows you don't steal out of Kohl's. Their fucking loss prevention is no joke. Those motherfuckers are like the Gestapo. Like, for real, if I'm walking in Kohl's and I'm like black while shopping, like, I feel like the Germans, like, they be on you. Right. And you took that chance in Georgia.
Right.
Racist ass Georgia.
That's crazy.
I guess you thought you was real light that day. You wasn't that light. You wasn't passing that day. You was a nigga stealing JBLs.
That's crazy.
Oh, my God. Yeah, Christopher Williams. Shout out to If I'm Dreaming.
You know what?
Please stay asleep, nigga. Like,
hilarious.
oh, my God.
That is so crazy. What is one of the craziest things you've seen in Hollywood at a party?
Naomi Campbell flashing her vagina.
Wow.
Yeah.
At the party?
Yeah, on the way out, because she was being thrown out.
Oh, okay.
And she said, I've been thrown off of better dinghies by Arabian sheiks than this fucking dump in Hollywood. Fuck all of you and eat me out raw. And she had on this beautiful little gold metallic dress that came up to the thigh. She ain't had no. And then she just bent over and she dropped down and she spread her ass. And I said, see, there we go. Everybody's gay.
Right.
She just turned everybody fucking gay because ain't nobody asked to see that shit.
Right.
And she stormed out. Actually, it was Alan Thicke's house.
Hilarious. That is.
She got thrown out of there a lot.
That is crazy.
Aggressive.
That is so crazy.
Yeah.
Oh my God. What about Justin Bieber? What do you think about what he's been through? I just feel like he's been through a lot of abuse.
I think somebody needs to save that boy. He's strong. Because with the memories that he has, suicide is an option. He's strong.
Wow.
Him and Jaden. I can't even get to talking about the babies.
Oh my God.
It's just yeah, I can't get to talking about the babies.
No, I understand. But we just pray that things
they stay
work out.
strong.
Yes. Yes.
Like they've been.
Yes.
I'm just tired of adults playing in their face,
Yeah.
pretending like they don't know what they did to those kids. All of those kids. Pretending like they don't know what they let them see.
Mm-hmm. I was looking at a video of Shirley Temple, and she was tap dancing and doing this dance with these guys, and they were all grabbing on her, and they were
Grown-ass men.
Yeah, and they were grabbing on her like she was a date for them, and it was amazing. And I thought, wow, this is the stuff that was okay to watch on TV.
Give me that little juicy young thing.
Yeah, and she's 7, and he's 40. I was
Grabbing at the hem of her dress.
Yeah. It's crazy. Crazy. I think it's crazy. And I think that it created a cycle, just even seeing that to feel like that's okay. You know what I mean?
They brainwashed us.
Yes.
You have to be very selective with what you allow in your head.
Mm-hmm.
We're still in control of this.
Yeah.
You don't have to watch everything.
Right.
You don't have to listen to everything.
Mm-hmm.
You can just turn it off.
Exactly.
Because it doesn't start living in here until you let it in.
True. True.
We all should be greater guardians of the cleanliness of our minds.
Mm-hmm. Absolutely. Yeah. I know that you're doing some great things to help women and to help some people in the community. Tell us a little bit about what you're doing.
Well, crueltyfreeartistry.org, which I'm a co-founder of, me and Odell. I can't wait till that expands and we have more people. But the idea is to create a physical and virtual community that supports artists who want to have a cruelty-free experience and still be able to have access to the resources that allow them to compete with artists that are a part of the machine. The hardest part about being an independent artist is not being able to pay for more ads than the labels can. Or pay people not to play their records like they pay people not to play yours,
Right.
You can't, you're outgunned, you're outmanned.
Absolutely.
But imagine if there was a group of people behind that artist that were working it all along the way with them, being there for them all along the way. You know what I mean? Making sure that there's security where there needs to be security, that if a kid has an audition and the mom has to go to work, maybe someone from the organization can come as a chaperone to be there specifically for that child. The entire shoot, never leaving that child alone. Like those kind of preventative measures stop children from getting caught alone with pedophiles.
True. True.
You know what I mean? Like we kids go to the airport and they assign them someone to walk with them and stay with them until they get on the plane. Why don't we do that on sets?
Right. Right.
If it's mandatory on an in an airport, why isn't that mandatory on a set?
Mm-hmm. True. True.
Like, there are simple measures that can be put in place that can stop like 50% of the fuck shit.
Right.
Why isn't it being done? Who doesn't want it done?
Right. Right. No. I hear what you're putting down. You know. Well, one thing about it, that's what I love so much about our conversation today is I feel like you let it be known how you really feel. You're not. Some people tiptoe around the answer.
Oh,
some
God,
people
no, I
are
don't got
straight.
time for that.
You the straight shooter. You know what I mean? Like
Too much information to bullshit with it.
exactly. And how did you enjoy the Poppy's bourbon tonight?
I need a bottle.
Okay, I got you, girl.
I'm in a new relationship. We are new in love. And we are
Yay.
bourbon people and we are old-fashioned people.
Oh yeah.
So I think the next time we do a steak dinner, because he loves when I make steak.
Okay.
So when we do a steak dinner, this would be perfect.
Okay.
With my chopped salad, with my boiled eggs and my shrimp. And oh yeah. And a little crab meat. Oh yeah. Oh honey.
I'm getting hungry now.
Oh, I cook.
Yeah.
Cook, and you know I could make us some old fashions. I got the big ice cubes to put in the little snip. With the poppy, yeah, be popping.
Oh yeah, Poppy's is popping.
Listen to me, I might have to take a little of that and mix it with my smoke
Oh yeah.
and marinate my steak in it before I put it on the grill. Cause
Oh,
see,
yeah.
a nice bourbon glaze on a grilled steak is you know what? I'm gonna try that out.
Oh yeah, you gotta do it. Gotta do it.
I'm gonna see if I can make me a poppy smoked steak.
Oh yeah, that sounds delicious. Gotta give me a little slither of that.
Yeah, no, girl, I'm gonna do a whole thing so you can have a little taste testing. Yeah,
I want to.
because we might have to make like a Poppy's bourbon barbecue sauce.
Oh yeah, that's what we gotta do. We gotta do that. We gotta put that together. Let's do it.
Listen to me, Jack Daniels, their sauce line is just as big a seller as some of their actual alcohol products.
Let's see. Well, that's why
That Jack Daniels sauce is in every house in America. I'm just saying, black owned.
That's it. Well, let's do it.
I'm on it.
Let's do it.
I'm
Let's
on
do
it.
it. Let's do it.
Babe, what do you think about me making that Poppy's barbecue sauce? You think I can pull it off? The bourbon barbecue with the Poppy's bourbon and yeah. You think I can make that happen? Well, that's it. That's it. The Mr. done said it. He done said we got to do it, so let's get it done.
Let's get it done, and y'all. So look, I've had a great time with you here today.
It's been fabulous.
You got to come back again.
We will.
We got to do some stuff. Make some barbecue sauce. Pop some bottles.
I'm gonna take this bottle home.
Okay.
I'm gonna whip it up. I'm gonna send it to you.
Okay, for sure.
I'm gonna
Let's
make
do
sure
it.
I ship it in the cool and say, try that.
Okay, let's do it. Let's do it. Let's do it.
You think I play it, girl? I'm dead ass.
Okay, well, let's do it.
He's like,
she get busy. Well, I'm ready. I can't wait. I love to eat.
he woke up. I made Cajun shrimp omelets the morning that we drove up from Vegas. And he just waking up, and I just got the omelets and the sauce. It just everything is just, and he's just looking like, I live here.
Right. I love this. This is a great thing. Good food, comfortable bed, beautiful atmosphere, beautiful queen. Such a great thing. I'm so happy for you.
And we share the work. We share the passion for the work.
That's beautiful.
Him as a documentarian and me as a journalist. We're both journalists. It's really awesome. What I've always wanted my whole life was to share my life with someone who loved all of the same things that I loved, cared about them. And I finally have that. You know, it took 47 years.
But you got it.
But I finally have it. And it's like, it's just like feeling God smile at you every day.
Mm-hmm.
You know?
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
Like, that's good. That's that good energy.
Mm-hmm.
When you know that God loves you because he brought this person to you.
Exactly. Isn't that a blessing?
Mm-hmm.
Such a blessing. I'm so happy you have that. It's not, you know what, that's such a great thing to have. So congratulations to you.
I'm happy for the both of us. I tell them all the time, I like us both. I think we're both dope separate, but together I think we're fucking awesome. I like us better than I like you and me.
Aww.
And he was like, I feel the same way. We're dope, you know? And we're just sitting there with each other, and you know, I'm looking at him, and I'm seeing just future.
Mm-hmm.
Just future. And it's not real, but it could be. All we have to do is wake up tomorrow.
That's right. That's right. Well, I'm so happy to hear this great information, because you don't hear about good things like that all the time. You always hear about drama and this and that. So I love hearing about love, purpose.
Love and purpose. My God, it's great because there's so much. There's just passion everywhere, and it's always properly appropriated. You know, it's always real. Like, no matter how difficult things have been, especially in the midst of the gaslighting campaigns and us being stalked by a bunch of weirdos on YouTube. But, you know, despite all of that, what we've accomplished in 2 months together is astounding. And now I wake up every day excited about going to work. Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. I like my coworker.
That's right.
Like, I got a dope ass fucking coworker.
That's dope. I'm loving it. I'm loving it.
And he wants the same thing I want: prosperity for our people, safety for our families, and the freedom to create without treachery, without barbary.
I love it.
Yeah,
I love it. Well, look, I know we're running out of time, so I just want to thank you for coming on to Conversations with Mimi, keeping it real.
Honey, we coming back because we're going to have to do a tasting with the Poppy's bourbon sauce.
Yes, yes.
I'm making this happen. I'm serious.
Okay, cool.
And I'm a fucking qualified chef to a nod. You have no idea. I'm going to turn this thing on its head.
Okay, well, let's do it. Let's do it. And I do some cooking too, so up at that day, we're going to let you do your thing. But
I want you to cook. I'll cook a little something.
Okay, let's do it.
And we'll try out the Poppy's bourbon sauce in a couple, you know what I'm saying? Maybe we could do a chopped salad.
Yes.
And break the sauce down into a vinaigrette dressing.
Oh, yes, yes. And I could do like a Poppy's teriyaki salmon.
Yes.
So I'll bring the salmon.
Give me Poppy sauce.
Yes, yes.
I'm telling you, we're going to make it happen.
Yeah, let's do it. Poppy
sauce.
I love you so much. Thank you so much for being on the show today.
My pleasure.
That's my girl, Jaguar Wright. Y'all know what it is?